What's up, everybody? I'm late to making this video, but we're here and we're talking about the finale of Welcome to Derry. So let's get into it.
So long, losers!
I was saying in the last episode that I was a little worried that the penultimate episode would be better than the finale, and I think that that is true. I wouldn't say that this was a bad episode. I would just say that like there were a lot of things specifically in this episode that I was just like what right. So let's get into it. Right, fog comes in. Pennywise is taking over the town. He is now free, almost free. The cage has been loosened. He just needs to get out, and then he will be out and about in the real world. Well, you know, in the rest of the world. And this is already where things were a little bit off for me, because I was saying last time my theory was that he was gonna, you know, what's it called? Blinding lights. That's the weekend. Whatever it's called, deadlights. All the people in the town, even the adults, and he was gonna, you know, get everyone for like a snack. It makes sense. He likes, you know, eating children, but like for the show to have as many, for the show to keep showing him, kind of coming out, to adults, you know, where, Hogan gets beat, and then, you know, you see him as a cop, and he eats the lady in the burnings, or when everything's burning down, and then, you know, you see him even in the window when the fog's rolling in. I thought that like, oh, the whole town, like even the adults are cooked, but no, it was just the kids, which is fine. But I thought it was kind of a missed opportunity, especially because he's like, you know, a little more not at full power, but he's, you know, he's on his way out. So I figured, you know, why not get the whole town? You know what I'm saying? Get the whole, you know, Thanksgiving feast for you. But let's not harp on that too long. A little thing that bothered me. When he goes to the school and he's like, weekend at Bernie's ing the principal, and then he like just rips off his head. And of course the kids are like, oh my god. And then I think he starts dancing or something, and the kids are like, what the hell is going on here? And then boom, hits him with the lights. I was like, holy shit. Again, this version is like a demon lord, and in the movie he's just like a demon. Like he got demoted. Again, put me in the movies. I don't want to be in the show. Although he didn't, spoilers for the whole episode obviously, but you know, he didn't kill Patty. I wanted that bitch to go. We just let her slide, I guess. But no, that part was crazy. I love that whole thing. I guess just kind of rolling along, you know, the kids come up, right? We got Lily, Ronnie, and Marge, and they just can't catch a fucking break with the mental toll that they're taking, right? They see the dead milkman. Well, when they go to the truck, they see the dead principal. They find his head. They're like, holy shit. He's gotten everybody. I think Marge shouldn't have drove. I know she's clearly like the only one that's driven. She got one eye though. Granted, she seems a little well adjusted, and the show was like, hey, shut up, she figured it out. I'm just saying in the moment I'll be like, you know what, let's all take a little turn or whatever, so you can drive the best. But I guess we don't have time for that, so whatever. But I don't know, if it was me and the boys and one of them had an eye patch on, I'd be like, you gotta get in the back seat. But sticking with them real quick, when they get to the forest, right, and they have the shard, and Lily is not about it. She's like, don't touch it. I'm the only one that could touch it. And then it starts to be this thing of like, almost like the ring from Lord of the Rings, where it's like, oh, if you hold it too long, you start being like, this is mine.
Lily, why don't you just give us the dagger? Just for a little bit.
You never trusted me, did you? You just used me. You used me to save your stupid dad.
Hey!
And you used me because you lost all your other stupid friends.
I wish they would have just cut that out. We already get the thing later of where the shard is like, if you're too far away, it starts to pull you like back or something. And the shard only had the power to kind of defend yourself against Pennywise, and so for them to start adding more lore at the end in the final episode, I was like, where is this coming from? It trying to pull them back, I was like, all right, fine. But it being like, oh, it makes you all crazy is I just felt it was like an extra step that we did not need, especially because it doesn't come up later when they're all holding it. So I was like, what's the point of even adding this? I kind of wished it was just Lily's trauma of like, hey, I was left alone. My life was flashing before my eyes because Pennywise was dead on me. He finally got me, and the only thing that saved me was this rock. And so the whole time I thought she was just like, you know, like all the trauma had finally built up over her. She's like, no, this is the only thing that's truly protecting me. It's just this rock. I need to like hold on to it. No one else can touch it. Then I kind of wish it was that. And then them kind of getting it from her is more of them being of like, hey, we're here. We're all going to do this together. We're not going to leave you again. But I wish it was more symbolic of like their friendship and less of like the supernatural part of like the crystals actually doing something to them. So again, I kind of wish that was something cut out. But again, these are all like kind of small things that I think drop the episode down just compared to like the last episode. Going to the adults, right? First off, so we get towards the end, right? We'll come back to this. Pennywise can see time all at once. He's not stuck like us, seeing one chapter at a time. And so he calls up oh man, I just remembered his name. He calls up the dad and he was like, you know, I got your son. And it's like, brother, if you know that down the line, right, that the kids, well, I guess even at the end of this episode, let alone when you get to the actual movies, that they're gonna win, why would you speed up the clock? You know what I mean? Why would you call the dad and get him on his way when you know that his son beats you and his grandson beats you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd stall as long as it just knowing that fact felt so weird for him to antagonize someone who's clearly gonna end up winning against him. So it's like, do you have like a not like a death wish, but you know what I mean?
Back in the wagon for Willie boy. Gotta keep him nice and fresh.
Listen, please.
The dog meat tastes twice as sweet.
Don't put your hands on my son! Don't touch my son, you hear me? I'll rip your fucking heart out! Don't touch my son! Hello?
I feel like that was like an oversight on the creatives part of like the writers and everything. But when he goes to Halloran and they're having this moment where Halloran homie's going through it, and I don't blame him when you see everything from his perspective, and it's all these like zombie ass ghosts and they're all like, come here, like let me touch you or whatever. And you know what I'm saying? I put 2 guns in my mouth. Fuck it. But he's ready to go. He's like, I can't do this, but you know, watch, his name's gonna pop into me right after I'm done recording this video. But the dad shows up and he's like, listen, man, I need your help. Like, please help me. Like, my baby is like out there in danger. And again, this is a guy who doesn't have like the, you know, fear part of his brain. But when it comes to Will, man, he's you know, he's crying. I'm feeling it. He's emotional. Other dude is about to snap. I was like, this is acting right here.
I'll do everything in my power to help you. I promise you, I'll pull the trigger myself. Just help me find my baby, please.
You know, they're like, all right, let's go save the kids. But Halloran, you know, his mental thing, his shine ain't shining right. So they go, and when they go to the Native American lady's house, and the mom is all like, I can't believe you've let my baby go. I felt like, I get it. But at the same time, I kind of felt like the way that she acted, she was giving like 10 out of 10 fear, and I needed like a 9 out of 10 just because of like how much we've seen her character. I feel like she would have been upset, but not that upset. I feel like she was just a little too much. I would have, you know, let's do the scene again. Let's tone it down just a little bit. Native American lady's like, yo, I got the goods. I can get your shine to start shining right. All you gotta do is take this route, and you'll be back to normal. Which I think the Native American stuff is so cool, and I kind of wish we did way more with it. So for her to just kind of show up and be like, I have the key to fix like what's broken with you, kind of feels like not ex machina, but like kind of like for the plot's sake, you know what I mean? Because we didn't actually explore everything. But I did love the part where she's like, all right now, like, listen, when you get there, you gotta, 8 parts zipper deck. And he's like, huh? And she's like, 8 part zipper deck. And he's like, oh no. And it's like, brother, he's gone. I forget what happens in this scene. So I apologize in advance. But I do like the part where he is like, when he comes out of it and then his mouth is like in his mouth and like in his mouth, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, oh, it's like creepy, but I like weird stuff like that. But Halloran is magically fixed with the root, and he's like, all right, let's go like lock in. Well, I mean, he's not fixed, but you know what I mean? Like he's not physically doing well, but his powers are working. He's tracked down Marge. We're all kind of converging onto the lake that is now frozen over as Pennywise is heading towards the exit. All you gotta do is pass the tree, and he can go out into the big old world and start chopping people up. And you get this caravan and all these floating kids, and it's terrifying and it's creepy. And they go to get Will. They're like, we found him. I hope that's his name. And then they're trying to like jump up and grab him. And I'm like, yo, if one of you don't like do the thing where, you get on hands and knees and like a table and the other person gets on top and then hops. Granted, I think Pennywise comes out, so it doesn't even matter. But I was just like, come on, we got to use our heads in the moment, girls. Yeah, so Pennywise comes out. They got the shard, but now he's feeling himself and he got space to move. So he starts doing some, Quicksilver type shit. Grabs Marge. This is where we learn about the whole like timeline thing. If he's like, I see time all at once and you're going to make your little, Ricky? What? No. Ronnie? I'm blanking on his name. You're gonna make the kid from the movie. You're gonna be his mom, and you guys are they're gonna end up killing me or whatever. And he goes in for the kill to kind of change his fate, and that's where I think he gets frozen. Yeah, he gets frozen. They run back. They're like, oh, we don't know what's going on, but he's all frozen now. And then we see that his true fear is being a regular human, and Halloran smacks him around, which is like, dude, you're playing with fire.
I am a god, an eater of worlds. Must have hit your head a little harder than you thought there, didn't you, Bob?
And everything's good until, what is it? I think the army comes or whatever. And then you see that his hand turns from the white man into the black man's hand. And he's like, oh, you son of a bitch, you had me for a second. I was a little scared, but, now I gotta get you out of here. Kicks him out of his mind. Yeah, so the military shows up at this point, I believe. And, all the kids were unlighted or whatever. A lot of them just fell straight down. I was like, I'm sure half of them have, like, broken ankles or legs. Like, ain't no way you're falling up from that high onto some ice and walking it off. But anyways, that's a small thing. So military shows up. They've surrounded everybody. Nothing's looking good. Pennywise is able to snap out of it. Runs into the what's his name? The like general dude. And he's like, you're free, get out of here. Do your thing. And Pennywise is like, all right, I'm gonna wait a minute. I'll never forget a smell, and I'll never forget a prey that's gotten away. He's like, I remember you from last time. Changes into his fear, and he's like, no, hey, no. All right, and it's like, brother, this is a demonic being, which you knew, which I said. You've met him when you were little. Don't know why you thought you could just control him. And he got his face eaten, and that's what he fucking gets, right? And so pandemonium's loose. I don't know if this is the part where Pennywise is like skipping. He's like, yeah, I'm on my way out, boys. The kids have all gotten the shard and they just need to get over to the thing. But the shard wants to go the other way. The dad got shot at some point. I'm mixing all this up. But if you watch it, you watched it. The dad got shot at some point. Thaniel gets shot, which again, I felt like all the Native American stuff was just to like push the plot forward, but they really didn't do anything with him. And like Thaniel for sure, like, he got mind raped. He almost got shot out by the military when they're in the tunnels. And then now he got shot for real this time. It's like they didn't do nothing with this character, let alone the Native Americans. But yeah, he got killed. Dad's down. At some point, they all knock out all the army dudes, right, that are taking, or that have them hostage. They knock him out. They get the guns. They proceed to not use the guns. All right, the dad uses his guns. And then Pennywise is like still going, or I can't remember at this point, he like transforms into that giant bat, and they're all just standing there, like Hogan's like scared out of his mind, the mom's scared of his mind, the Native American lady scared out of her mind. They all got guns. I'm like, if y'all don't start unloading the clip, like what are we standing for? You have the distance, you have the weapon. Like that was the sin of this episode. It's just like, how do you all have guns and only one person is using it? Like, everyone else is knocked out. Just shoot at Pennywise. Like, and they really showed that it worked because he shot him in the head, and then his head got all like misty or whatever, or like oil painting or ink or whatever, and then came back together. So it was like, okay, like you can distract him enough for the kids to go get the crystal in there, and they're working hard. They're fighting. You know, there's what, 4 of them trying to push that crystal down, and all hope seems lost. And just as, you know, everything seems like it's gonna end on a dire note, our true king comes back from the dead one last time, and there he is. And you know, he's running as a ghost. And not only am I hyping this moment because I'm like, my boy's back. All right, it's not the way I wanted it, but it's what we got. I was like, he should be like, yo, fuck you, as he walks by. But I was like, they're not going to do it. And then he was like, boom. And I was like, that's why he's the GOAT. That's why he's the GOAT. So he goes in, helps out his friends one last time. Boom, gets the crystal in there. Pennywise starts freaking out, right? He's like forming into all the fears that he's been messing with them throughout the show. And I just love that he's like down for the shenanigans or whatever. So at the end he's like, what a lively crowd. And then he just like disappears into the light and like zooms off. I'm like, what a weird guy, you know what I mean? But yeah, so the day is saved. Everything's good. We got a funeral for my boy Ronnie. God, it made me tear up, you know what I'm saying? Marge's speech, him leaning on his friends and his parents, and Halloran coming over and being like, hey, you feel something like on your shoulders? That's your son. Like, he's around. He'll always be around. He's always going to be there for you. It's like, oh, our boy, he didn't need to go. It could have been someone else.
The hand you feel on your shoulders. Your boy's dead. He always will be.
Everything seems like it's, good for now. They got a good 27 years for anything to go down again. But of course, the more time goes on, the more things start to fade from the memory. Marge brings up the fact of like, oh, what if he tried to attack our ancestors in the past, and he can time travel or whatever. And I was like, I don't know if they're gonna do that, but I can see them doing like, let's jump another 30 years back and see what happened to those people. But I'm hoping they don't do that, because I'm like, are we really gonna, like, there's no way that all your ancestors were smart enough to not be killed by this cosmic being. You know what I'm talking about? So let's not beat a dead horse or whatever. And we get to the parents, right? Well, so we have a nice little scene between Ronnie and Will, and they're like, oh, we'll never see each other again, or like, we'll forget, or I'll try to remember you, yada yada, the kiss, ooh. And the parents are about to head out, and the Native American lady's like, my Thanos, I can't remember if his son or her nephew, but he's dead. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm gonna sell the house, but we need people to protect everyone from Pennywise. So if you want, you can have the house and you can stay here and kind of help me and the other natives keep everything. Well, you guys and the other natives can keep kind of everything in check. And they think about it in the car for like 10 seconds, and they're like, all right, let's do it. And I'm like, I feel like there should have been. I wish they didn't immediately go with it. I kind of wish that they're like, give us like another week or something. Just some sort of line of them, like they're considering it, but they're not on board. I just think them being like, yeah, let's do it after everything they saw was just like, huh? Like, no, I don't want to stay in this town, this crazy thing. You know what I'm saying? There definitely should have been a moment of like, let's do a pros and cons list or something. You know what I mean? So yeah, I didn't like that part. Ronnie heading out and then, on her dad and her on her new life and the grandma. I was like, okay, but granted she will forget, so she's gonna be like the major guy. And then who else we got? We got Halloran. He's like, yeah, I got a job at a hotel. I think everything's gonna be pretty good. And it's like, Halloran, please don't go, bro. I know how that ends. At least in the movie for sure. And yeah, I think that's everybody. And then, as everything ends, he goes, that's chapter 1. But what about chapter 2? Oh! And so we will probably get more of Welcome to Derry. Granted, I don't know how long it is going to take or what it's going to be about. I kind of don't know what it could be about, right? Because we got the sequel is the movies. So unless they're going to do another prequel... are we just doing the people that came before that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really know. Off the top of my head, I can't think of what would be interesting in the kind of timeline of it. But, I mean, if it's another show of this quality, then I'm all on board. And then, real life stuff. Netflix was looking to buy HBO. So... who knows how that could affect everything if that goes through? Because if not, Paramount wanted to buy it. So, it could be one of those things of like, season 1 was so good, but then, this company bought it and then everything went to shit. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, I did like this final episode. Again, I don't think it was better than the episode before it. I just feel like this episode had a lot of like small things of like, huh? Like, why are we doing that? But, Pennywise, full Penny, terrorizing the kids, having them float, transforming into that giant bat, dying but kind of being cool about it, telling everyone that he can, like, see time all at once or whatever. Like, all that shit was cool. All that shit was cool. I feel like it was some of the other stuff, this episode that's kind of like, alright. But, again, this was a good time. I'm hoping... that whatever part 2 is actually interesting, and hopefully, any of these company mergers doesn't mess with whatever vision is currently being planned. Shout out to the theme song every time, never skip. Yeah. So let me know what you think about the finale in the comments down below. And until next time, peace.